Hey everybody, welcome back. It's been quite a week. I had to step away from the project for about a week. Other stuff jumped in front of it, so I'm gonna start today attacking this dash. That consists of removing this lower vent panel. There's some mysterious wiring in there, I could tell. I'm gonna disconnect the other end of that brake. These are all 7mm around this perimeter. This panel comes away from the car, and then the actual dash instrument panel. So, all right. So, have fun. Stand by. So we'll zoom in for a closer look. I got this off. It was this switch was on the other side of it. I'm gonna have quite the undertaking sorting out this a lot of this aftermarket stuff and getting rid of it. My intention is to return it 100% stock wiring, eliminate all these peripherals basically, and if a new alarm system needs to be put in, I could do that. But yeah, I'm not going to do that. This is going to be much easier with it on the bench. When I say that, I'm probably going to have to do some cutting, like where these go in and wherever it goes. And I do have these gauges up here, so I know they're leading somewhere. But there's one thing I could also have to do when you disconnect in the dash, is that's the park and brake release up there. You just remove the cable. I don't know if I can manage that right now. No. Alright, that disconnects easily. Right there. See, you just push. The wires are making the focus weird, so you could just push that and this comes right out. Don't try to remove this from the back. These things that hole is very fragile in the dash. It's super thin plastic, so just disconnect from the other end, leave it alone, unless you have to replace it. So all right, so I'm gonna start moving this dash surround, which is this part, and that's separate piece from the rest of the dash. It's all 7mm all the way around. So all right, I got I'll call it the dash surround out of the way. So the next thing we're gonna do is same thing. These are 7mm, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then there's a plug behind here and the speedometer cable. So let's start working on that. All right, I don't know if I can manage this with just one hand holding the camera, but it basically pops out as a unit. But what you have to do is reach back, and I don't know if we could see it, but you have to feel for the speedometer cable. You have a little bit of, there we go. I got it. All right. And sorry about that. Then you have this, that's the check engine light. You could twist that off. Thing you want to consider is, like, if you keep this laying it down, you're going to scratch this plastic on the top of the column, or scratch the top of the column. So I'm going to drop this and start pulling this out. There's all surrounding 7mm screws going into it, and then I'll be able to finesse this thing out. It's not hard. It's just you have to have the right sequence. Okay, just a little side note here. I have another dash, and I was looking at how this is connected. So, see, this is another GN dash, and it has the turbo boost. And so this is all soldered in there. This is your connector. So before I drop the column, I'm gonna disconnect this and try to fish it out through the front. Because you have to lay basically onto the steering wheel and get to work on that. So let's head over there and see what that, if I can even see it with all that extra wiring in the way. So put on the lights. Alrighty. Okay, so that's it right there. This is it right here. I'm gonna pull gently. Now, another thing to note is when you get this loose, it's not gonna come right away because you have this conduit that ties to the back of this, so you're gonna have to be somewhat I might be able to see this. Let's see if I could. Where is that? All right, I think I could access it through. See, I could see I'm making that move. Let's reposition, and I think I get it from over here. Well, I'm not too successful with finding the end of this connector. It's deep in there. I'm just gonna, I might have to pull the dash, the whole dash away and get it from there. Yeah, it's pretty tucked up in there. I don't remember them being that tight, because even up in here, it's like way up in that corner. You could get fingers on it, but you really can't do nothing about it. So I'll keep you updated on progress. Okay, the trick was dropping the column. All right, so once you drop the column, look how much more room I have, you know. So we'll get started on that. See, that's pops right out over there. So let's see. All right, so these are just like that, and then a little this is fished in rather weird, but well, we've got another aftermarket light. They love these little lights, and there we go. Comes out. I'll get a closer look. Now, if you want to, you can get these off. 1, 2. There's 4 of them in the back, and then this will come out of the way. You have to disconnect these, the headlight switch and the defroster switch. They're a pain in the neck. Sometimes the plastic isn't so flexible, but I'm gonna disconnect this dash harness from the back of this thing and keep going. So these are a bit of pain in the butt. So these come out. These unplug rather easily. You have the 7mm screws, and they just unplug. And then to get this to disconnect, you have these tabs, and then there's that one, let's see, right there, that little white tab. Got to push that in, use a little screwdriver, and then basically what you're going to do is you'll pull it out, turn it, cock it sideways, and then feed it out, because that's, see how it's has a lip on it, so it's got to come towards you and then tilt and go out. I'll show how to do that last one. So taking my screwdriver in the back, you have a tab you're pressing down on. Here it comes out, and then you turn it, and that's it. So this little tab right here catches people up. You don't want to force anything. That's brittle plastic, so there's a few of them in there. So that's what she looks like behind the dash. And that's your AC duct, or your HVAC duct right here. I know with the GNX they had to drill through that, and they put a grommet in, and because you had the speedo cable going through there or something. It was weird. But all right, well, moving right along, we'll start picking away. I think this is a good spot to start working on the dash. You got some more 7 mils going all the way around. I think this dash was out before, because I don't see how. Maybe those speakers will go in without it. But I'm going to start taking that off. And then you got some bolts underneath, and I'll show them when I get to them. Alright, got these top dash bolts out, and these are slightly longer, so I mark them for, I mean, they're similar to other ones, and that's one thing. So I got the computer out of the way. That's one thing with an 86 and an 87, these connectors are different. The 86 has this, and you gotta release that, and it just pulls right up. This is coming from the engine compartment. You see there's, let's turn on the light. It's coming through there. You have to disconnect this, which attaches to the dash, and then you can see the dash is loosey-goosey a little bit. You got a bolt right there. I think you have to get that ground off too, so those two. And then with as much wiring that's been added, you gotta kind of take it slow. So I'll disconnect this, take those two bolts out, because there's one on each side, and see what I got. Okay, another step is the bulkhead connector. So this comes out, that's a 1/4 inch. It's not metric, it's a 1/4 inch. And then if you could see up in there, see, that's a screw coming from the other side. So there's one on each corner. And let's see, get in there. Yep, one in each corner from inside the car. So this needs to be disconnected, and then from the inside, and that goes with the whole dash. All right, let's dive into the mess. I'll turn the light on. Get some good cushions for this. The studs are quite sharp. All right. So, oh my goodness, yeah. So I started, you have to unplug all the column here, stuff, everything starts disconnecting. There's a whole lot of added stuff on here, so I got my work cut out for me, but you have to get all this out, start unplugging stuff. Let's go up in there. That's for this hose is for the cruise control, but I don't know if we can see it. Where the nut? Yeah, there, right in there. Go in. There, the wires make the autofocus very difficult, but up in here, got more wires. Up in here is where the fuse block bolt is. One there, in the opposite corner. I don't know if I can. You'll have to take my word for it. A lot of these are very tight to get out, so have a mini screwdriver. But I'm gonna get to work. Okay, making a little headway. Got the alky control stuff. That's one thing I could appreciate about Don Julio is everything is modular under there. I was able to get a lot of the bulk, but let's get in there and I'll show you some other stuff. So, mess. So I got this is loose, right? But that attaches to that. You see that bolt right there? Let's jingle this if I can. Now you can't see me, but this is held in. That's the brake booster bolt. And then over here, above the column, that bolt holds the dash down to I think that's got to come out, yeah. But yeah, let me work on that, getting that out. Okay, so I was debating on whether to drop this column out just so that mess is kind of all around it. But the dash is pretty loose. Alright, you got one more bolt right there. That's that silver screw underneath. That's the central dash support. I'll get that out. I might have to, I don't know. I'm debating, like I said, if I could get this column out of the way. I'm thinking I might have to lay this dash down, face down, put some towels down, and start deconstructing some of that harness entanglement. So, all right. So there it is. Comes out now. I don't know how successful I'm gonna be with lifting this out. I see one thing I didn't catch before you start yanking. That is the brake release cable, and that just pushes out. It's like a half moon, pushes out to the right. So I caught that before you start yanking. But it really falls right off. There's not a lot holding it on. Okay, my idea to remove the column is gonna have to take place. Look at that, that big mess. Shouldn't be too intimidated though. A lot of this is, you know, aftermarket mess. The factory stuff's very neat. I'm fortunate that there's not a lot of cutting into the original harness. There is, let's turn on the light. All right. went. I was looking for the splice for the starter interrupt, I guess, but it's not too bad. But I'll get this column out of the way. There's let's see, those are 10 mils, and then you got to undo the rag joint at the motor. You gotta get that right over there, and that'll pull out. Well, it was quite a struggle, but getting the steering column out of the way really helped. And I mean, there's all these extra. This is all aftermarket stuff that was just intertwined. This is alky, gauges, stereo, you name it. So that's going to get all cleaned up. And then some of this is speaker, HVAC. So, yeah, I'm glad I got that out of the way. This was probably the hardest part. Yeah, here's more aftermarket stuff. So that's the gauges, and as a personal, I think these gauges up here are useless. You want to take your eyes off the road to look at boost and your scan master. No, not me. There's better places to put them. Okay, so here's what she looks like. So this is mostly factory intact. This is the splice for one of the alarms. And there was actually a couple alarms. There's your famous purple wire. Purple here and purple there, cut, going to the controller box, and then here behind the glove box you had your override or whatever. So, all right, that's it for today. I had a lot of camera issues, so I'm gonna have to learn how to do some editing, but appreciate you watching. Have a great day.